from his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Very happy to be here once again with Gina Castelli. There is not a better person that could be in the situation that she was in, and to have what had happened this past Sunday where Gina Castelli was able to hoist the first Northeast 10 Tournament Championship banner ever in the history of LeMoyne. 23 years, and they got to do it this year. She got to cut down the net this time around, and I'm very excited to have her live on the broadcast as they get set for the NCAA Division II Women's Basketball Tournament. Gina, how you doing today?
Thank you, Dan. I'm doing great. Thank you so much. That sounds great.
Yeah, it's
First team ever.
And to be able to do that, I mean, Gina, we've talked about this before. 6 years ago, you and I sat down. We had a conversation. You talked about doing things the right way. You talked about building something. You talked about your belief in LeMoyne and your belief in what you could do here and just your positive feelings that you had about what this could be. Now we're sitting here talking about a championship team. This is a special moment for you.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely, just kind of a culmination of 6 years of just, trying to work this and bring it together. So, I can't say enough about everybody that's been a part of this.
And when we look at this team, what was so special about this year's team? I mean, when it comes to the championship game against Bentley, you had defeated them in the regular season, but this game, I mean, you stretched out the lead and you just kept moving in the right direction. I mean, even when they fought back a little bit here and there, the team had a cushion of a very strong lead, and you were able to take control of the game rather early. Just what you could say about the championship and how your team came into it, because this game was a game that you had kind of a chokehold on from the beginning.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, it kind of goes back to the springtime of last year when, we obviously lost to Stonehill in the semifinal. It was a really tough loss, and a couple weeks later, maybe a week later, I met with the returning players, and we had decided on three captains. It was Madison Purcell, Colleen Corcoran, and Michaela Roberts. And normally what I do is we'd have weekly captain meetings going into the season and starting in postseason. And last year, with the postseason being right around this time, we met with them. We met with captains and, talked to them about, what our culture's about and, what we need to do. And they had a team meeting. They themselves had a team meeting, and then they came back and they emailed me. And Colleen was the one that had emailed and said, okay, this is what came about this meeting, and this is where we're at. This is we feel like our goals are twofold. We want to protect our home court, and we want to invade on the away courts. So they wanted to win every home game, and they wanted to go on the away courts and invade in a sense, and win those two, win all of them. Obviously we didn't do that, but up until we played AIC in February, we had won all of our home games, and so they kept this motto: protect and invade. Although they have kept it all the way through. So I believe that it started with them, and I always say that when players want it more than the coach does, you have a lot more, and they kept that going, and the leadership that we've had all year long has been just so consistent, and to me that's really the reason why you saw that. It wasn't I don't even know. I mean, I know they were really excited about the championship game, but I think they have kept a really good focus about them and what they want to achieve. And winning a national championship is the goal, so it's not just to win the NE10 championship. It was, that to me was a little bit of a gravy, the goal has always been winning a national championship. So they know that there's 6 games left, and they have to keep an incredible focus and keep their goals in mind. So honestly, I really think that's why you saw what you saw in that game. There's more to this than just the championship game.
And when we look at, this team and just what you've been able to do, I mean, Gina, in your 6 seasons there, 5 out of the last 6 seasons, every but one has been 15 wins or more, 15 here, 17 there. But this season, 24-5, this team is right now. And just like you said, taking care of being at home, 15-1 at home, invading when you're on the road, 8-4, 1-0 on neutral court, so 9-4 away from Ted Grant, 15-1 at Ted Grant. I mean, this team, protect and invade has been, like you said, the motif of this season, but they've handled that well, and this has been your best season at LeMoyne so far.
Well, they took it to heart. Sometimes you can set goals and you can have a mantra, and it's just a lot of words, but these kids, starting with Michaela Roberts, who has incredible focus, and, moving forward with Madison Purcell, who's like one of the glues. I say those 3 captains are the glue to our team, and it's without saying. I mean, Colleen Corcoran is probably our best leader that we have. I mean, she's very vocal, whether she's playing or not on the bench. She's probably been the one that has been the most vocal in practice. Every day they meet as a team, and they meet in the huddle, and it's them. It's not with the coaches, and they talk about what they're going to do for practice. So it's a constant focus and a refocus when we're not doing as well. And I put that mostly on them. I think they've just done a fabulous job.
And speaking here with Gina Castelli, the head coach of LeMoyne College women's basketball team, as you step forward here, kind of an interesting situation. Like you said, the goal is to win a national championship. In NCAA Division II, on the men's and women's side, both you and Pat Beeline are playing St. Thomas Aquinas. Did you find that to be a little bit interesting that you both ended up getting the same team?
Yeah, that's kind of weird, really, but I think we're both kind of happy that we're not playing an NE10 team. They also have quite a few NE10 teams in their bracket, and sometimes you're playing teams for 2-3 times. It's a little bit more difficult in the NCAA tournament. So I think they're happy that they're not. We're both feeling kind of the same way, and obviously we wish them a lot of luck. They've had a great year. He's a great coach, with so many new guys. So we're hoping that we can come back together and go back to the Elite Eight.
And having these kind of pods inside of this NCAA Division II tournament that you have, the one that you're in, the number 1 seeded University of the Sciences, and then the 8 seeded NYIT. You're a 4 seed against 5 seeded St. Thomas Aquinas, and then Bentley, who you just played, the 2 seed, is in there. St. Anselm, who you obviously know well, is a 7. Jefferson a 3. Stonehill a 6. Just your thoughts on that bracket as a whole as you step forward.
Well, it says a lot about the NE10 and the strength of our conference to have so many teams in. I'm sure there's, Merrimack could have just as easily been in there, but there was an upset on the other in one of the leagues where NYIT won the conference championship. So I was thinking that we would at least have 5 teams in there, but it's going to be a really great showing. I think U Sciences is definitely one of the best teams in the country. So, obviously they're on our side. So if we win on Friday and they win, we play them on Saturday. So that would be an incredible game for us. So just all the teams, every team offers something really unique about them, and every team's balanced and good defensively, has good scoring. So, when you get to this point, everybody's good.
Yeah, when you look at the way that this tournament is set up, each of these, pods, so to speak, like I said, they're 1 through 8, and so there's more 1 seeds than we see in Division I. What do you like about this? Not like about it? I mean, what can you say about kind of the tournament makeup of knowing that each of these brackets, so to speak, is 1 through 8?
Well, I mean, I think it's the tough part about this right now is you're playing so many teams that you've played all year, and that's really the hard part. And sometimes it takes away a little bit of the excitement of the NCAA, in terms of, maybe playing a more national schedule in the NCAA. So I think, to me, being able to go to Philly and playing somebody that we haven't played all year, I think for us that's very good. So, I think in D2 a lot of the decisions are made because of financial reasons, and I definitely understand it. But we're excited. We're excited to get moving and get rolling and going to Philly and being like Rocky out there and punching everybody out.
And Gina, before I let you go, that moment, I was there on Sunday and got to see this. I want to ask you, because I think I know when it happened, but when did the first tier happen? Because it seemed like there was a couple minutes left. Michaela had come off, and then some of the other players were coming off. You were clearing the bench, and you had walked down, and I was sitting right behind the bench, and you just kind of put your finger underneath your eyelid real quick. When was the first tier? Was it that one, or was it a different time?
You know what? For senior game, it was kind of a close game, and I hadn't had the opportunity to take some of these kids out. And what my thought honestly is I got to get Madison Purcell out and Coco out because we got to get them the recognition. It's going to be their last game on this home court, and that's really what I was thinking. And then when Michaela came out, I'm thinking this is it. I honestly, it was really, I think I was more stunned than anything. I didn't really know what to say, how to feel at different points, but, yes. And I think really the first tier really came when I saw Madison Purcell. She's been a kid that for the last 4 years has really given it her all to this program. And, I've known her as a little kid. And it was just great to see her be able to walk off as a senior to win an NE10 championship on our home court, her last home game. I mean, what a way to leave, and the same thing for Corinne, being the fifth year. And those two in particular, I really felt for and felt so happy for them.
And you got to go and cut down the net, and this video that I got to put up there, the response. I know, and the thing about the video too is that we're hearing from these people of your history. There's been a lot of thanks to you and to what you've done and to how you've affected people. I know that right after it, Coach Q, coming off of his tournament himself, had some words for you and some thoughts on what you had done. But I mean, just what we're hearing. We love this video. Thanks for sharing. We're going dancing. What everybody had to say here, and Coach almost immediately, said, without Gina Castelli, there's no Coach Q. So, just bring me into that moment, because I thought it was really cool. Number one, we got to see your personality. You put your head through the hoop, and then, then you put the net on you. And one picture I wasn't able to get, but I saw it, was that you actually put the net around your mom as well. Mm-hmm. So I just kind of want to share the net moment here on the air with you.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for all the publicity. I've had so many people text me and retweet that, the video, and people are wondering like who you are. I know 6 years ago I wondered that, but I really appreciate all the PR you're giving us, and so many people have seen that. So, but it was a really, really special moment. I mean, it's been a long time since I cut down the net. At Siena, it was in 2001 when we won the MAC championship and gone to the NCAA. So it's been a long haul in a sense. And just, having my family there and my sisters, we had this group hug, and I think I got more emotional there, and with my mom and my dad just recently passing away.
I'm sorry.
She's just such a big part to our family, and she really is like the MVP, like Kevin Durant would say. For us and for me to have her there and to have my family there, that was probably the biggest thing. When I would see them, I think that's when I cried the most, because I think they knew, it's like how much work has gone into coming back, and making things work as with another group of players. It's just been really kind of cool. And so, I don't know what made me do that, but she looked good with the net on, and she's a sweet woman. She's the heart and soul of our family, and she's kept us all together, and it just was a really, really special moment then.
Yeah, and to be able to have that moment and to share that the way that you got to share it. And have you practiced cutting a net down? Because it looked, I mean, I've seen a lot of nets cut down, and I don't think anybody's done it easier than you did. It was like one foul swoop, and that was it.
No, right before going up there, Mary Grimes, my assistant, who's cut down, many nets in the sense. She goes, Coach, make sure you twirl that thing, and I'm like, okay, So she's giving me tips before I go up there, knowing that I probably haven't been up there in a while, and she has. So, no, it was just something that she told me to do. Honestly, I don't even know if I would have done that, but it was really special. And then, coming down the ladder with my team right there, I mean, it was just, those are the moments where, when you're in them, you realize, wow, all that work was all worthwhile. And I think for every player, from end of August, starting out to that moment, they realize, like, there's no better feeling, and for an athlete to win a championship like that. And I think they knew. I think we all knew. It's like, this was all worthwhile. Look at how much fun it is to win, and I think that's really what's going on inside of all of us.
That coming from Gina Castelli. Gina, I know that the team is getting ready here for the NCAA tournament, and obviously I hope that we will be in touch throughout this tournament with a lot of good news, but congratulations on everything. And it just, I said it coming out of it. I said, this is what 16 years ago, this is why I got into the business. These are the stories I wanted to tell. These are the people that I wanted to meet. So you're on one of those lists of, wherever you go, I want to go. So, I mean, that's I couldn't be more proud of the work that you've done, and it's just really gone a long way, and I think that this community is better off from it. So I thank you for that.
Thank you, Dan, and again, thank you for everything, for being a part of our program, especially this year and the last few games. All the tweets and everything that you're doing to promote us, and I just can't thank you enough. It means a lot to me, and it means a lot to all of us here at LeMoyne.
Well, keep doing what you're doing, but you know that if the team was 0 and whatever, I'd still be supporting it.
I know.
So let's just make that. Let's put that O on the other side when we go through these next 6 games here. That's all I can say.
That's awesome.
All right. Well,
thank you so much. Thanks for the time.
Take care.